Here is the truth that frees you when you're ready to hear it. Men do not love unconditionally. Male romantic love is conditional on how he experiences himself with you, the effort he invests, and the respect that he feels for you. When you understand this, you stop begging for love and start creating the conditions where he loves you for a very long time. Subscribe if you want the unfiltered playbook, so let's get into it. We were sold a fairy tale. Unconditional love belongs to a parent and a child, not to adult romance. Adult romantic love is responsive to behaviour, context, and investment. Women tend to bond through emotional disclosure and caretaking. Men tend to bond through effort, protecting, providing, and winning. If he cannot do those things, the bond weakens. That's not cruelty, it's just wiring. The psychology of male attachment explained simply. Number 1, status and self-image. A man's feelings for you track how he feels about himself when he's with you. If being with you makes him feel competent, chosen, and respected, attraction rises. If he feels handled, mothered, or belittled, attraction falls. 2, effort creates value. People value what costs them. In men, this is pronounced. Effort, time, money, and planning create attachment. When access is too easy, his nervous system never pairs you with reward after effort. No effort, weak bond. 3, respect before intimacy. Men separate liking from respecting. He can like you and still not commit. Respect is built when you have clear standards, calm boundaries, and a life beyond him. Respect is what turns like into long-term investment. 4, polarity and role clarity. Most men bond deepest when they feel invited to lead in actions and you lead in vibe. That does not mean that you obey, it means that you allow him to bring initiative, decisions, and resources while you bring selectivity, appreciation, and boundaries. Mixed signals kill polarity. Number 5, hormones and reinforcement. Dopamine attaches to pursuit and progress. Small wins during the courtship phase are addictive. When you give the end prize at the beginning, the dopamine arc collapses. Oxytocin helps him feel close after intimacy, but without continued effort and respect cues, it fades. 6, risk and loss. Men calibrate effort to the risk of losing you. If your presence is guaranteed, urgency drops. If your standard is firm and your life is full, he experiences a healthy pressure to keep winning you. What to stop expecting? Stop expecting unconditional emotional labour from a man. Give him clear, specific requests and then space to act. Stop expecting loyalty without consequences. If there's no cost to poor behaviour, the behaviour will repeat. Stop expecting romance to maintain itself once you act like a live-in manager. Mothering kills desire. Stop expecting long-term support when you accepted short-term access. The 5 conditions that make men love for a long time. Number 1, the admiration-respect loop. Speak to his strengths and vision, not his potential only. Admiration is oxygen for masculine drive. Respect signals include punctuality, not interrupting when he's explaining a plan, acknowledging his effort. You can disagree and still signal respect. A line to use might be something like, "I appreciate how you handled that. It made me feel safe and thought of." 2, meaningful price of entry. Set a clear standard before intimacy. Examples include a consistent weekly date, planned 48 hours in advance, a contribution to experiences or small acts of provision that might remove stress from you. A line you might use could be something like, "I connect best with consistency. Weekly dates planned ahead work well for me, and then I can relax and enjoy you." 3, controlled access and mystery. Keep parts of your schedule and inner world for you. Reveal yourself in layers. This is not manipulation, it's pacing. Curiosity sustains attraction, so stop oversharing and stop trauma dumping. A line you might use could be, I don't do late night last minute plans. Let's plan Thursday at 7 o'clock. I enjoy being looked after. 4. Reward provision and not persuasion. When he invests, you reward with warmth, affection, appreciation, and priority access. When he argues or withdraws effort, you do not chase. You pause and you let the consequence teach. A line you might use could be, thank you, you made my week easier. I feel really cared for when you take the lead like that. 5. Quiet boundaries with visible consequences. State what works for you, once or twice, and then act. Remove access, slow your replies, or skip the next plan, but do not lecture. Lines to use could be, same day plans do not work for me. I will pass this time, but let me know when you can plan ahead. The first 90 days framework. Phase 1 might be weeks 1 to 4. This is the screening phase, so keep dates short and perhaps early in the evening. Minimum bar would be punctuality, planned dates, being emotionally present, and pays without debate. You match energy, you don't exceed it. No daily texting expectation yet. You use voice notes and phone calls maybe a couple of times a week. Phase 2 would be something like weeks 5 to 8, and this is the calibration phase. You raise the bar slightly, so a weekly date plus maybe one practical act of care or provision. You begin small rewards, so maybe a surprise dessert or a handwritten note, some affection. You introduce one boundary test. For example, if he tries to change plans in the same day, you would hold your line and your position politely. Phase 3, weeks 9 to 12, would be consolidation phase. You allow deeper access. If his consistency holds, you might share a small vulnerability and then watch whether he protects that or not. You can even share a fake vulnerability, as a lot of men like to use that against you, so you could use that to test whether he would do something like that, because then it won't affect you if it was fake anyway. You discuss relationship vision in positive terms. You're not demanding. If he steps up, you invest. If he stalls, you step back. Some scripts that you could use. So for setting the frame early, you could say something like, I like consistency, planned dates, and a man who enjoys taking the lead. That's where I can relax and I can just bring my best self. When he pushes for quick intimacy, maybe you could say something like, I am attracted to you and I pair deeply when there is consistency and care, and let's just enjoy building that. When effort drops, I have a great time with you and I connect best when there is follow through. If now is not the right sort of season for you, no worries, we can slow things down. When a boundary is crossed, late night invites don't work for me. Let's plan another day that suits us both. Inviting provision without begging. I feel really looked after when you handle the booking and the car. Just tell me what time to be ready. Common mistakes that weaken his love. When a man starts losing respect and attraction, it's rarely about one big mistake. It's usually a pattern of small things that signal to his subconscious that you need him more than he needs you. These behaviours shift the power dynamic, making him the prize. So let's break them down. 1. Over-explaining your feelings. Ever been in a relationship where you've written long, carefully reasoned paragraphs during an argument? Every text, every point is backed up with examples, maybe even a little bullet list of why you're right. You might think that you're showing emotional intelligence, and he thinks, wow, she's really invested, more invested than I am. Here's the truth. Most men cannot emotionally digest long, detailed explanations during a conflict. His brain isn't wired for emotional processing in the same way as yours. He's more likely to focus on why is she saying so much rather than the actual content. So all that extra talking just signals urgency and investment, which flips the dynamic and makes him feel like he's the one deciding your value. When you over-explain, you turn into the pleader and he becomes the judge. So what should you do instead? State your boundary or your need once, clearly and calmly, then stop talking. If he cares, he will follow up. So for example, I'm not okay with last minute cancellations. If it happens again, I'll just make other plans. No TED Talk, no essay. The silence after your line will do a lot more work than 1,000 words, trust me. 2. Mothering energy. Men don't fall in love with their mothers. They might feel cared for, they might even enjoy it short term, but it's not sexual, romantic energy. Mother energy is constantly reminding him of things, correcting how he does stuff, preempting his needs without letting him take the lead, and managing his life more than your own. When you take on the manager role, you remove his chance to earn your appreciation, and without earning, his attachment fades. 3. Overgiving. Here's the trap. You think that generosity will inspire generosity back. For women, yes, maybe. For men, too much giving without requiring effort is like feeding someone who never has to hunt. They lose their hunger. The more you give without reciprocity, the less urgency he feels to keep you. Signs that you're overgiving might be that you're planning dates or buying gifts and making all the effort while he just coasts. You're emotionally supporting him through every crisis, but he disappears when you need help. You're the one pushing the relationship forward while he's just going with the flow. 4. Fighting for explanation instead of consequence. Women often think, if I can just make him understand how much this hurts me, he will change. So they argue, explain, cry, and explain again. But for most men, change comes from consequences, not explanations. For example, you tell him you don't like him disappearing for days without contact. He does it again. Instead of a long speech, you simply don't respond for 48 hours and you fill your time elsewhere. That silence teaches him more than any text ever will. Men learn from the absence of comfort. 5. Losing your life outside of him. The fastest way to make a man complacent is to make him your whole schedule. When your friends' hobbies, self-care and personal goals disappear, he feels no competition for your attention, and that is when effort drops. So the pattern here. Each of these mistakes, over-explaining, mothering, over-giving, over-talking, losing your independence, removes the conditions that make a man stay invested. Men stay in love when they respect you, when they feel that they're winning you, and when they know that you have options. And you can't maintain that by talking him into it. You do it by setting conditions and letting your actions speak. So the repair plan if you've already overgiven. Week 1, maybe stop initiating. You can respond warmly, but allow him to lead. Decline any last-minute plans and reset your schedule. Week 2, raise one standard. For example, only evening dates that are planned at least 2 days ahead. Replace management talk with appreciation when he does act. Week 3, add in some scarcity, so 1 evening per week is available. Fill the rest of your calendar with your life. Week 4, if nothing changes, step back. If effort returns, reward it and rebuild slowly. If it doesn't, then you know what to do. Effort in, warmth out. Disrespect in, distance out. That is the loop. He invests, you reward. He neglects, you withdraw. Quietly, consistency, no drama. Over time, you become the woman that he never wants to lose because he associates you with his best self and his proudest effort. If this has helped, please subscribe and comment. I set the conditions so I can find you. Share this with a woman who might overgive and wonders why it never lasts, who might send you the paragraphs of text she's sending her partner and she's getting nothing back, nothing's changing. Your love life changes the minute you raise your standards and you keep them and you act on them.